Hi class, this is Gary, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you on this little lecture. And as you can see from the slide, the topic for today's lecture is stage composition. If you haven't already watched the little mini lecture on basic stage directions where I describe what the difference is between stage right, stage left, upstage, downstage, stage left, upstage right. I would take about 2 minutes and watch that lecture. It's on YouTube and it's called Basic Stage Directions. If you haven't seen that or if you're not familiar with these terms, it would probably be a good idea to be familiar with them before going any further with this lecture. Okay, when we refer to composition from a directing point of view, we're referring to the physical arrangement of people on stage, or what I call the collection of static pictures created throughout a play. If you took a series of snapshots at the stage during the course of the play, each snapshot you would see the stage composition that exists on stage at any particular moment. And a good director will carefully compose his or her stage pictures and will be guided in that composition by some very specific principles. And one of the principles that we'll talk about a lot in class and do some exercise with is that if you know what you're doing, you can use stage composition to help tell the audience where they need to look. If you think about a movie, you don't need to be told where to look. The camera constantly frames the action so that you can see exactly what the director wants you to see. On the stage it's a little bit different, and directors have to manipulate things in the hope that you will be looking at what the director would like you to look at. So anyways, the composition is simply the arrangement of people on the stage. And there are several different levels of composition or elements of composition, and what I'm going to do is explain each of these different elements and then talk about how a director manipulates that element to create focus. And then in class I think we're going to do what I think is a pretty fun exercise called 4 frames, where you actually do the work of a director and tell a story strictly through composition. The elements of composition are body position, vertical levels, planes, horizontal locations, focus, and contrast. And as I said before, I will go through each of these and explain what the director does to manipulate the element to create focus on stage. First element is body position, and that is simply the angle from which the audience sees the actor. And we say that if everything is equal, an actor who is looking at the audience is more likely to have focus than an actor who is not looking toward the audience. And I've got a little mini movie-ette that will demonstrate this. Most of these things are common sense, but they are important that directors have a really good grasp of them. So I'm going to pause this for just a second. Okay, I've put up a little different screen, and you see 2 little kind of stick type figures, and in the case of the figure on the left, this represents an actor who is looking toward the back of the stage, and this represents an actor who looks as though he or she's looking toward the front of the stage. And I'm going to push this little button, and that simple move simply reflects the move of an actor who was looking toward the back of the stage, turning to the front of the stage, and as a result creating focus for himself. So it's simply a case of body position being used to create focus, with the idea that we're more likely to be interested in a face than we are in a back. The next element of composition is called vertical level, and it refers to the height of the actor, and I don't necessarily mean how tall or short an individual actor is, but whether the actor is standing on a part of the stage that is higher or lower than someone else. And again, all things being equal, the higher the level upon which the actor stands, the stronger the position and the more likely to have the focus of the audience. So I'm going to pause again and put up another one of those little movies. Okay, and here again you have two little stick figures representing two actors, and in this little film you're simply going to see an actor do a very simple thing, which is simulating getting up and standing on a chair. That action, by virtue of the actor being now higher, on a higher vertical level than the other actor, will tend to take focus. The next element that I'll discuss here is simply referred to as planes, and by that I mean areas of the stage, or how close a particular actor is to the audience. And again, all things being equal, an actor who is downstage, or if you remember, downstage means closer to the front of the stage, all things being equal, downstage is stronger than upstage. And again, I'll see if I can find one of those little mini movies to demonstrate that for you. Okay, and here's the little movie, and again you see two actors. In this case they're both looking toward the audience, and the actor, simply by moving downstage, by moving from toward the back of the stage toward the front of the stage, is going to tend to grab the focus of the audience. So here this actor is upstage, this actor is downstage. All things being equal, the audience is more likely to look at this person. The next element that we'll discuss is called horizontal levels, and that simply refers to the side of the stage that the actor is situated. And again, all things being equal, meaning that if everything else were of sort of equal focus, an audience is more likely to focus first on what is in the center of the stage, then more likely to look at what is stage right, and then finally tend to look at what is stage left. So we say that the stage center is the strongest position, stage right is the next strongest position, and stage left, all things being equal, is the weakest stage position, or the weakest side of the stage. And I'll see if I can show you this. Okay, here you have two actors, and both of these actors are on stage left, and what you'll see in the little movie here, that this actor, by crossing stage right, by going to the stage right side of the stage, is going to create more focus. And so all things being equal, this actor is going to have more focus than this actor. Now, if this actor had crossed to the center of the stage, it would be even, he or she would be in an even stronger position. So center stage is the strongest position, stage right is the next strongest, and this tends to be the weakest. In fact, upstage here is about the weakest place on the entire stage. The next element that we'll take a look at is actually focusing on focus. And what I mean by that is we're going to take a look at where the actors on stage are looking, because a lot of times what an audience will do is take a look at an actor, see where he or she is looking, and then follow those eyes to a place of focus. So I say that all things being equal, a person being looked at is stronger than a person who is not being looked at. And again, I'll show you that visually in just a second here. Okay, here you see four actors on stage. These three actors are looking in this direction. This actor is looking in a different direction, and if we want people to look at this actor, we might simply do something like this, where we have those three actors, and isn't this a cool little program that does this, by the way? Have those three actors turn and face that actor. So the audience takes a look at these three people, see that they're all looking toward this person, and then tends to focus on the person who is being looked at. Okay, the last of the elements is simply called contrast, and it's an element that deals with what looks similar and what looks different on stage. And all things being equal, a person in a different position than the others will be in a stronger position and will thereby likely have more focus. We're more likely to look at a person who is in greater contrast than the others. And again, I'll show you this. Okay, here you see a group of about 7 actors all in one area. Audience probably kind of looks at them as a clump of people, but doesn't pay specific attention, all things being equal, to any one of them. But as soon as some contrast occurs, in this case by this actor kind of moving away from the pack and crossing downstage and downstage left, that person gains focus by virtue of the contrast between his or her position and everybody else's. Okay, that's our little mini lecture on stage composition. We will work with these principles quite a bit in the directing sequence, and hopefully it gives you a little better sense of some of the things that a director needs to know to do his job or her job well. So, thanks very much, and I'll see you in class.